Greetings, welcome back to the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today you're going to be watching an interview with German power metal band Paragon. Now the band have just released their new album called Metalation on Massacre Records. It's a great album, so I want to thank Jan Bunting for doing this interview. So please folks, check it out, subscribe and share on social media. Thanks for watching, stay metal and enjoy. Great, so we're talking to Jan, everybody from Paragon. Welcome to Friday 13th. Now, Jan, it's been a long time since we've done an interview. It was when I was doing
very long.
Yeah,
I think the first 15... one we did was was after Wacken sometime in the 90s or something.
1999, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we have done interviews after that, but not for a long time ago. So I'm going to ask you some warm-up questions for the people that don't really know anything about Paragon. So you were formed back in Hamburg, back in the early days of 1990, I believe.
Yeah.
So what band was you in before Paragon? Because you wasn't actually the original bass player.
Okay. My first band, I started to play bass in 1983, and then I had a little punk band. We played at our school first, and at the squatted houses here in Hamburg, at the Hafenstraße first. But that only lasted for, I don't know, for maybe 1 or 2 years. And in 1985, I joined a band which was called Black Laws. That was some kind of heavy metal. Very dark heavy metal band, and these guys turned into Erosion, and Erosion was more or less, some kind of, it was more or less like, wait a minute, I look stupid, man.
No, you're okay.
No, because I'm not looking into the camera. I think now it's better.
Yeah.
No, Erosion was some kind, maybe you would call it metalcore today, because we crossed stuff like Slayer and Metallica and Agnostic Front, Carnivore, and stuff like this, like heavy metal and hardcore, but we didn't sound so modern like these bands do now.
I don't remember the band actually, because they were sound to. I do actually remember the band, Young, because they were signed to We Bite Records, I believe.
Yeah, We Bite Records. That's true. Yeah, and then I was there until 1988. Then I went out, and. And after that, I joined a thrash band here in Hamburg, which was called Asmodus. Was also very, very dark heavy metal thrash breed, and I was around, and then after they also changed their name in I don't know, maybe like 90. When did they change the name? I don't know, like in the 90s sometime, And and then one day, I was like, we were in the studio and we were recording some kind of demo, and I was the only guy in the studio, because the other guys were all fucked up, on alcohol and drugs and everything, And I came home that evening, and said, oh, I don't think I want to do this anymore because it makes no sense, And so. And on this evening, Martin called me and spoke on my answering machine and said, "Hey, here's Martin from Paragon, and I need a bass player. You're interested to join?" And I was like, "All right."
All right then. So you recorded the album "The Final Command" was your debut album. How successful?
With me, yes, that's true.
How successful was it for you as a debut for you?
Okay. At the time when we recorded it, the classic heavy metal wasn't very big, but sales numbers were okay for us, and in the end, better than today, of course, because today, many people are streaming. But at first we got a lot of bad critics in a way, that because of Bushy's vocals and stuff like that, at least a few, not everybody, but it was a good beginning, so everything was fine, it was good to have a band, which was working professional, and I really liked the music style more than the stuff I did before, for sure.
Right then. So, what was your favorite songs from the Final Command? What was your favorite song?
Good question. We used, maybe, I don't know if you saw us on the Headbangers, but we just played some.
I was doing photography.
From the early albums, and good question. Maybe for the Final Command, the title track.
Yeah.
But we had much fun. We didn't play that live at the Headbangers, but we played Feel the Knife, and that was really fun to play. And we found out, that was really fast for I thought we got faster, but at the end it was also fast already back then. And there were also some different kind of songwriting with little parts, which we didn't do today, and it was funny to play it with our new drummer and stuff like that, with good people, back then, we could play, but we were not as good as we are today, So it was funny to do the old stuff now at the Headbangers Open Air,
I mean, the albums that you recorded back in the early days were on BO Records. The first two albums that you first played on, Chalice of Steel and The Final Command, both released on BO Records.
Yeah, they were on BO Records, right? That's true. Mm-hmm.
And then you went to Remedy Records. How did you hook up with Remedy?
BO Records, they went bankrupt or stuff like that, and we played I think maybe it was even the first Headbangers Open Air when Jörn, the owner of Remedy Records, saw us and thought, hey, great band, we have to sign them. It was a label from Hamburg, and of course we knew each other because it's of the scene here. I don't know how long I know Jörn, maybe like in the 80s sometime. I know him actually. I know him longer than all the people in Paragon. And so, yeah, he asked us if we want to go on his label, and we said yes, sure, of course, because it's in Hamburg, your direct contact to him. That was really cool back then,
I mean, Steelbound was the album you signed with, I believe, and you had Peter from Iron Savior in production for this album.
Yeah, for Steelbound, yeah. This was a little bit difficult because we recorded the drums with Markus Großkopf from Halloween and some other guy, but the recordings were not so good, and so Pete still had his studio in the back of some building, and the very little one, it was like a garage, and he and he was cursing the recording, was like, that doesn't sound good and blah and stuff like that, and so it was a little bit more difficult to do this album than the ones after that, because the drums were not recorded so well back then, but in the end, it sounds good, and it was a first production we did with Pete, and was a lot of fun back then,
Yeah, I mean, the name Paragon, just correct me if I'm wrong, Jan. Paragon came from a Paragon station in Hull, England. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's really Martin. Yeah, really?
Yeah, I live in Hull, yeah.
Our guitar player, Martin, he's half English, and he used to live there. And I think he saw it. Yeah, it wasn't cross, I think he saw the station and had it in his mind, but it was not 100% because of the station, but it was in his mind, and he said, hey, yeah, Paragon, good name, for a band, So that's it in the end, was a very easy decision in the end.
Was there any other names? Did he have any other names besides Paragon, do you know?
I don't know, because, I'm not the band founder, I when I joined, there were other members before, and I don't think so. I think this was the first name they really took, for the band. There were no other demos with another name, so I think it was Paragon from the beginning.
No, you've had quite a few lineup changes. I believe now you've got Martin's son on drums, who was playing Headbangers Open Air. How did you hook up with his son?
That's a crazy story in the end, Martin left for a few years, the band, and he has another band which is called Kneipenterroristen, and that's more like a metal punk cross, a little bit more like drinking music, beer drinking music, and of course Martin played with his son, when he was younger, and started to play drums, he played Motorhead stuff and of course Paragon stuff, and at some point he joined the Kneipenterroristen, and so Martin and him, they are playing for a long time already. And, Corona was a different time, the COVID stuff, which was going on. And, when we did the first gig after it was all over, we did one gig. And after that, our old drummer said, oh, I don't want to play in a band anymore. He's a professional. He still plays drums, and but he's doing like cover
Is this
stuff.
Sorensen?
Hmm?
Is this Sorensen that left? The drummer Sorensen, your old drummer.
The old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Sören.
Yeah, Soren, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, he said he doesn't wanted to play drums anymore in a real band. He's only doing cover stuff right now, and so he left us. And the guitar player we had at that time for a short time, he also left. And I said, "Oh my God, what's going on now?" And Martin and I were writing songs for the next album. Martin not yet joined the band still for full gigs. And then we said, okay, what are we going to do? And we said, okay, maybe we just do some final shows and then split up or something. But then, and then Martin suggested to let his son play drums for us. And at one point, his son said, "Hey, I want to join the band, so not split up." And we said, "Okay, yeah, Martin, you have to join too." And so Boo's back in the band, Marty's back in the band, and the son is in the band. So, and it's a good feeling in the end. I think it's the best lineup we ever had. Because his son is very talented. He's a very good drummer. Martin is a stellar guitar player, and then Jan, the other Jan, the other guitar player is also a very good guitar player. So it's the best guitar duo, and everybody's on fire at present.
Was it kind of strange calling the name Paragon when Martin left? Did you think, this doesn't feel right?
Yeah. The thing is, Martin said, "Hey guys, if you want to just go on, without me, no problem, And the thing is, everybody in the band is working. We all have a normal job, but Martin is has also a normal job, but he's with the other bands. They made a lot of gigs, so he had no time to do Paragon stuff anymore. And at first they only played cover stuff, so they made a lot of money for a band. This money we make with Paragon, all goes into production and everything. So we don't make too much money with it, but we do it for fun.
Yeah. So
and so we said, okay, let's go on. We try to be as close as possible to the old style, and I think we were successful with that.
Yeah, you definitely have. So, how would you say your influences are? Obviously, Judas Priest. You can hear that in your music. Who else?
Judas Priest, of course. Early Maiden, I would say, of course. Martin is big influence by Merciful Fate, also guitar riff wise. Of course, Candlemass sometimes, so the doom stuff. Black Sabbath Dio area, and with the other singer, Headless Cross area. Tony Martin, yeah. And stuff like that, and of course also old US metal like Hellstar, also some thrash stuff like Overkill and Slayer. I think you can all hear this, but by now we made such a mix of it, that's all our own style in a way. Of course, I think so.
Do you think do you get compared a lot to Gravedigger? Because I know Andreas's vocals are kind of like Chris's a little bit. Does that kind of piss you off?
Yeah, no, it doesn't piss us off, in a way. But I think Bushy's vocals. Hey, I like Gravedigger, great guys. We were on tour with them, but I think Bushy is a much better singer than the Gravedigger guy. In my opinion, he's much more versatile. He's not like all the time. He can sing high and low and everything in between.
Yeah. So how would you describe your music? Would you say it's power metal, US style power metal? It's definitely not.
Yeah, in the classic sense, we are playing power metal, because when I started to listen to heavy metal, power metal, the first bands which were called power metal were like Metal Church and Overkill, because they crossed thrash metal and classic metal. They were not 100% thrash and not 100% speed, but they were a cross of all this and heavy metal. And so in a classic sense, we are a power metal band, but I always say we are a heavy metal band. We try to cover, different kinds of heavy metal, like doom stuff with stompy songs, fast stuff, speed songs. We have a little thrash edge as well, so there's a lot of different heavy metal styles in our music, you know. But I would say we are just a heavy metal band.
When you look back at all your albums, you've done quite a lot of albums, haven't you, Ian? What's your favorite past album?
Good question. Of course, the one you know, which gave us the first really a lot of good critics for the first time was Law of the Blade, of course, you know, and we still play a lot of stuff from that, you know. But I also like my comeback. You know, I was out for one album from the band. You know, and when I came back, we made Force of Destruction, and that's also a very good album because it contains every style. You know, every kind of style we play with Paragon, and of course I like the new one as well. It's also a very good one because I think that's also very old school Paragon with lots of melodies, and then the one before, Controlled Demolition, was the most heavy we ever did. You know, with a lot of almost thrash and speed influences, and almost every song was fast. But the new one is much more versatile, I think. So these three, I would say: Force of Destruction, Law of the Blade, and Metalation.
Right then. So you signed with Massacre Records after being with Remedy Records.
Mm-hmm.
How's things going with Massacre Records? Is everything going really well with Massacre?
Yeah, the thing is, you know, we were on Massacre before when I was out with Screenslaves. And Thomas is a big fan of our band, the owner of Massacre Records. And I think when we joined the label, it was sold to Soul Food.
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah.
so the label was only Thomas and one promotion girl for a long time. And now they have sold again. To be honest, that's one other thing. But it's still the same guy, you know. And he saw us at playing at the Bang Your Head, one of the last Bang Your Head festivals. And we were still on Remedy Records, but Remedy Records is not doing so much for their label anymore. And he said, "Hey, I want to sign you. Can you not leave Remedy?" And we spoke with Jörn. He said, "Yeah, no problem. Just go, you know." And so he's doing a very good job for us, and the label's doing a very good job for us. We're very satisfied, you know, and so everything fine in the end.
And then the album cover is great. The album cover behind me has got a fantastic album cover. Who did the artwork?
That's Valgors. It's Aldo Requena. It's a guy from Argentina. He made the first thing he made was a cover for Revenge. And but back then he was not as good as he is today. You know, he's a very good graphic artist now. He's doing a lot of stuff, you know, for other bands as well, like Destroyer 666 and stuff like that. And you know, Force of Destruction was the last cover our usual graphic artist Dick Illing did, because Dick died a few months after he did this cover art. He died suddenly, you know. Ouch. And so we had to look for somebody else, you know. And then first we asked Lars Paukstadt, who did the Paragon, the Shield, you know, we have on the first albums.
Yeah,
that's the guy who did it. But to be honest, I was not very satisfied with the cover art he did, and so I asked Aldo again. Hammerblaze is his label, you know, more or less. It's called Hammerblaze, and yeah, and he said yes, you know, and then he did the last two album covers, and I think we will go on to use the stuff, you know. The new one is very good, you know. I was a little bit tired of having this shield always or something like this on the cover, and I just wanted some classic heavy metal artwork, you know. And when I saw it, was like, yeah, that's the thing, you know. And I also think that many people, you know, really enjoyed it, you know. We made T-shirts from it, you know, and we never sold so many T-shirts, you know, from any artwork we did before, you know. So it was the right decision.
Yeah, I saw them at Headbangers Open Air. Great T-shirt, Jan.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So the new album, Metalation, is it Metallion? Metalation, sorry. Who came up with the name, and what other names did he have?
Bushy reads a lot of stuff, you know, and he was wondering, you know, we wanted to go back to the classic Paragon sound, classic heavy metal, and he was thinking about, okay, which metal titles on albums are always already used, you know, like Metallion and stuff like that, and Heavy Metal Never Dies and blah and everything like this, you know. And then he saw that like there's a process, you know, to make something to metal, you know, and it's called metalation, and from what Bushy told me, you know. And so Bushy came up with this, and then I really enjoyed it. And I said, hey, that's a good title for the album, because, we metalize something with the music, we metalize people with it.
Wow, because it's really, really good album cover. I mean, like I said, the
Thank
songs
you.
off the new album, you've got 10 songs, one's a bonus song. Well, just tell me how long it took to record the new album.
I think we just started. Maybe to be honest, I'm not 100% sure right now, but I think we just started like in 2019 to write the stuff, because 2018 the album before came out, and in 2019 we started to write it, and then came Corona, and so we couldn't rehearse, we couldn't play live, and everything else. And so I met with Martin, like each week we had a meeting and recorded ideas for albums, for songs. And so it took, when came it out last year, it came out, the music was ready I think in 2023 or something. But Bushy took a long time to write the lyrics, after that, and so we couldn't record it before 2024. So yeah, it took a while, because we also said that it would not make sense to put it out, while Corona is still around,
Yeah.
So we said, okay, let's wait till it's over, and then better make some more details in the songs, and work everything out, and make perfect songs. We also recorded a lot more songs, but some of them are not on the album.
Because are you going to use them again? Do you think you use them again? We can use.
Yeah, sometimes we do. We had to listen to them last year, when Metalation came out, and we already started to write new stuff. But we also had to listen to the demos we made from unused songs, and I think we will use some of these songs, like 2 or 3. We have to see, at least maybe some riffs. I don't know.
Right, because you co-produced the album, Pierre, didn't you? How pleased are you with the production, with the end production?
Yeah, the thing is, today, you can use this here. It's like MacBook Pro,
Yeah.
And I have Logic on it, The last years, for the albums before, I already started to record guitars, for that, And this time I just had some more impact on everything, I made demos with Bushy before, with the vocals and stuff like that. And, always the arrangements. I already did a lot of arrangements, what usually, Pete is doing more, but this time he only was more into giving the album a good sound and producing it in the end, the thing which he with his work was, to make good vocal lines with Bushy and record the vocals. We recorded everything on our own except for the vocals in the end.
All right then. So, what's your favorite songs from the current album?
Good question. Also, yeah, maybe the title track also, Metalation, because it's I like this stompy heavy metal feel, and with the middle part, which is very calm, almost like a ballad, and then it goes up again, with a wide lead guitar and stuff like that, The opening song is also very good, Fighting the Fire. Yeah, but it's always hard to these songs are all my children, in a way. It's hard to pick one,
Very, very true. So has it been successful reviews from the press? Have you been getting the fans? Have they reacted to it very well since it's been released?
Yeah. But I think, of course, the people were excited because Martin is back also, of course, but to be honest, he already, when I rejoined the band, he already started, to write songs again for us, and so in the end, he's back for like since 2012 already, in a way, because he always did write songs for us. He always recorded guitars for us, and yeah, the reaction was very good, of course, because I think it's a very classic Paragon album, and the people like that, and I think with Controlled Demolition, it was made. It's a very good album as well, but I think the people prefer this classic sound. We do again now. That's in my opinion.
So a lot of people will be asking, why did you leave the band, Jan? What was the reason? You just get
Good question. We were in the studio, and we did Revenge. And Revenge is, in my opinion, a very well produced album with very good songs as well. And we thought, okay, do we go again to Pete, or do we something totally different? And we were like a little bit naive. We went to some people, who were our live mixes. They did our live shows. But in the end, they had no clue how to record a band, And when I was sitting there and listening to the recording, I was like, hey guys, we cannot release that stuff. It sounds like a demo, And the arrangement were not good. The sound was not good. And so and Martin and Bushy, and me, we clashed a little bit, And I said, hey, we need somebody else to at least to mix it, and that's why in the end, I said I cannot stand behind this album, and it's still from in my opinion, it has good songs, but they are not good. The production is terrible, and also the playing is okay, but in the end it's not the standard we usually should have, and I cannot stand behind that, And so I said, okay, that's not me. I leave. Bye.
So what made you want to come back then? What made you want to come back?
In the end, we were still friends. Martin and Bushy were at my birthday, I think maybe a year later, and so on. I already spoke with Martin about that. Like I don't know how long was I out. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years. I don't remember, to be honest. And we already spoke about that, And so, and at one point we just said, hey, Martin just said, hey, come back, But when I rejoined, he went out.
Well, that's bizarre. So how many videos have you released so far for this album? Are you going to release any more promotional videos?
For the new one, we have made 3.
Yeah. Are you doing any more?
It's a friend of ours, Niklas Krohn. It's very funny. He's becoming a professional wrestler now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a very young guy. I think he's not even 30 or something like that. When we I was looking for producer, for the videos for Controlled Demolition. The thing is, usually we didn't have so much budget before for doing videos, And Masaka said, yeah, you can do a lyric video, you can do a video clip, And we pay for it. I said, hey, cool, that's cool, But we never did one professional video before in the end, And so I just checked the internet, and there was a band from Hamburg, and they did a video with him, and I really liked it. And so I contacted him, and he's a very nice guy. We're friends by now. And so, and he made a very fair price. So we could do 2 videos, and we did the same for the new one as well.
That's cool.
We always do it we always have a budget, for one big video in the end, but with him we can do 2. We had the same setting and everything for the new album. And we always get one lyric video, which Masaka also pays for.
So have you got any new songs wrote for the next album? Any ideas?
Yeah, sure. As I told you, we already have I don't know. I think we have recorded demos for 6 songs about, and we have some more ideas, from the last record. So maybe we have 7 or 8 or something like that, But no lyrics yet. But in summer, no songwriting most times. We most times do it in winter. So I think we will start soon to make some demos again. And but we wanted to not take too much time off now. Maybe we will record it already next year. I hope so.
Right then. So you recently played Headbangers Open Air, where we both met again. So how did you feel about playing the stage? Because you're always there doing photography. It makes a change for you playing the stage. Oh, how was it for you?
It was very cool, because we played it a lot of time already, and but you never know, because these underground festivals, we're always sitting it's like sometimes it feels we're too small for the big festivals, and we are too big, to be a cult band, we never split up or anything, or we never released in the 80s. We never released a 7-inch and came back now glorious, like other bands. We were always there and then always released quality albums. So it's sometimes a little bit unfair in a way. But the people at the Headbangers greeted us with open arms. It was a very cool show. And I think it was the best we ever did. For at the Headbangers Open Air.
Yeah, it was
Bushy was in top form, and everybody enjoyed it. And we were on point. We had a hour-long set. We're like 57 minutes. We played 57 minutes. We're like, all right, we didn't know if we make it, and maybe have to cut one song, but it was okay for the time.
Brilliant festival. Was that the only festival you played this year?
This year we only did one other show this year, but we will do something like at the Headbangers Open. We will do another 35 years of heavy metal show this year, but this will be with an extended playlist. This will be in Hamburg at a club. But next year we have a few festivals booked already, so next year we will do more shows, I think.
Awesome. Right, Jan, I want to thank you for doing this interview. Do you have anything to say to the people watching this on YouTube?
Oh, thanks for your support. Thanks for the support from the people. And hope to meet you again soon, of course. If you're in Hamburg, let me know.
I will do.
Yeah, heavy metal is the law and everything.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jan. Have a fantastic day. When this interview is online, would you be kind enough to share it on YouTube and on social media?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Sure. Of course I do.
So, cheers, Jan. I'll be in touch, my friend. Thank you for everything.
Bye-bye.
See you next time, brother. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye. Cheers, brother.